Legacy Maker, the All Sports
The
Network.
place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you'll be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em, fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel, Russ Taliaferro, Lamonte Thomas, James Brown, and Cody Stewart.
Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. The funniest thing ever, my face is frozen on the screen. I'm gonna keep going anyway. As long as I can see everybody else, I think I'm good with it.
Frozen with that goofy ass smile.
Man, whatever. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Darrell Owens. And this is Legacy on Fire, episode 32. Man, let me tell you what, y'all. Technology, we are at their mercy. And it's been like this all evening. I've been working on this for like an hour. I've been treating this like a stepchild. But nevertheless, we are here to bring you episode 32. We got a lot to get into. This is gonna be a fun one because we got some classic topics to go into. But before we get started, of course, like always, let's go ahead and introduce the panel. With me, as always, my peeps on the streets. First, let's go with our ATL insider, our man in the NBA world. Great articles, go over everything. And now, analyst here on the show, Mr. James Brown. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, Darrell? You know, another week. About to get in with the boys. Push a little P, maybe. Who knows? You just never know where it might go tonight.
Well, I don't know how much P we'll be pushing, but we'll see how it goes.
He don't know. He don't know about the 2 Ps.
Next week, we got our guy, man, myth, and legend, multiple podcasts, co-host on the Commonwealth Sports Talk here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, rocking the Legacy Maker team with my man today, Mr. Lamonte Thomas. How you doing, sir?
What's good, man? I'm good. This is a good starting five right here. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to play my role. Drop 30, make a little oohs and ahs. I'm ready for this. Let's do this. Let's go.
Next we got our man, the stat man, the man, myth, and the legend himself. He does it all, man. Graphics, you name it. UFC, he got it. Stat man, what's up, brother?
Not much. Give a shout out to Becca. Happy birthday. And also Carson, Bish's dog, too.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, much love to Carson and Becca. I know Becca out there probably beating Jay up right now. It's all love, but no, seriously though, give a quick shout out to Becca. Happy birthday from the Legacy Maker teammates. I know today's a tough day. You lost someone close to you, so our regards go out to you. So much love on that one. And of course, can't forget about my man, the graphic guru himself, Mr. Cody Stewart. Hey, Cody, tied up series, man. Like, what is going on?
I'm trying to figure out why you had to bring that up. All right. I wasn't looking for no negativity. All right, but anyway, moving on. Hey, I just want to say, when your face was frozen just a minute ago, I mean, you got to think that's what Deshaun Watson looks like after a massage, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
The old face.
If his eyes were even open before he went to sleep.
Oh, that's great. Well, fellas, let's go ahead and get these fire starters going. First, we'll talk about the NBA Finals. We are tied at 2 apiece in the NBA Finals. And right now, the first game was a crazy one. It was topsy-turvy. It was back and forth. We saw, Jason Tatum struggled in that first game, but they were able to find a way to get the dub. That was the most important part. Second game, all Warriors, all day. And now we are sitting here with game 3 starting at 9 o'clock. So while we have the show going on, game 3 will be happening. So, of course, as soon as we finish, we'll be ready to rock that bad boy. But let's go ahead and get started. Lamont, I'm going to start with you, brother. What are your thoughts on the NBA Finals so far? Tied up at 1.
I like it, man. I like it. I like to see everybody, all the role players, it really comes down to who can do their job the best. And even though the stories and the headlines are about the stars, like I like the team, right? The story of the team is always enticing to me. Of course, it's going to be a coach's game, back and forth, but I like it. I like the role players. Derek White impresses me. Boston Celtics, he is doing his job. When left open, when they call his number, he is there to deliver. The Jordan Pooles, the shots from half court, the Clay, Draymond. I love it. I love all the pieces that come into play, man. And shout out to Ty, because he brought it up that it kind of reminded him of that 76ers Lakers series. And I felt like it could be very true, because when Golden State gets hot, it's hard to turn them down. So I would not be surprised if the Warriors won 3 straight, but it's going to be, or 4 straight, but it's going to be difficult. Every game's going to be a fight.
All right. James, what are your thoughts on these NBA Finals so far, tied up at 1?
So far, I took the Celtics to start off with, so I was hoping that they'd split on the road out in Golden State, but I thought it'd be in reverse order. I thought they'd lose game 1, pick up game 2, but, they happened to get game 1 off the Celtics. That performance they had, it was immaculate. You had Horford making 6 threes behind the arc. Derek White was hitting the shots, knocking them down. Jaylen Brown had a good game as well, but, Tatum struggled in the first game as far as points, but, he made up for it with his assists, so on and so forth. Game 2, Boston was able to stick around with the Warriors for a minute, and then after halftime, Golden State kind of came and blew that thing open. And, what I really noticed in game 2 is that when Robert Williams kind of went out of the game, it seemed like things really opened up for the Warriors at that point. So that's another thing to keep your eye on throughout this series, where if Robert Williams isn't on the floor, that gives Golden State the ability to penetrate the paint, score down low, as well as kick it out, dish it, and get those 3-point bombs they love as well. So we're in for a good series.
It disappeared on me, y'all.
We got you back.
The whole
man.
computer shut down. I don't know. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Bro, the whole computer, I was in the middle.
Demons be gone.
No, bro. It's a done deal. And it shut down on me. Told y'all this is how the computer's been treating me today. But I missed everything you said, James. I'm pretty sure everybody else heard you because I can still see the live feed going. So, James, great analysis there.
Ain't that a...
Great analysis there. Next, let's go to Russ, man. What are your thoughts on this NBA Finals, brother?
I don't think anyone's really surprised by them splitting the first 2 games, but one thing I will point out is efficiency. Boston won the first game with 50% shooting, with 50% shooting from both for the field and from 3-point range. Second game, they shot 37% from the field and 40% from 3-point range. If Golden State shot above 40% in both games, so they're going to get their shots. They're going to make their shots. It's up to Boston to be just as efficient, which is a tough task to go shot for shot with Golden State, of course, because they have 2 of the greatest shooters of all time. But they got to make their shots. They got to make their shots. They got to have more than 2-point performances from players on the bench. Marcus Smart has to be in everybody's face, no matter who he's guarding. But they have to make the shots first and foremost.
All right. What about you, Cody? We swing to you, man. What are your thoughts on this bad boy, man?
I'm in complete agreement with Ty when he was talking about the Lakers and 76ers series back in 01. 100%, that's what it reminds you of. 76ers came out that first game and, tried to show the Lakers, hey, this is who we are. This is how the series is going to be. But the Lakers, just being that veteran group, that experienced group, they were able to take the next 4. And I can definitely see the same thing happening here. Boston got up for game 1. The Warriors had a disastrous fourth quarter. Boston was able to capitalize, played great defense. But again, you look at game 2, as Lamont said, they were able to stick with them. Boston was with the Warriors for the first half, and then Golden State just blew it open, and I just kind of see the same exact thing happening when you have that core of Draymond, Clay, and Steph. Even though Draymond and Clay, they're not really hitting on much. I believe Clay's averaging like 13 a game. Draymond, even though he hasn't really been averaging a lot of points in general over the past few years, but still, that experience that they have, it's hard to beat.
All right. See, I mean, this finals has been interesting so far. You hear some people, they say, look, whoever wins the night is going to win the series. But I mean, the way this thing is going,
it's not that simple.
It isn't that simple. I will say this though. I was going to leave it for put out the fire, but I got to say it. Jason Tatum, please stop putting things up with you and Kobe just until after the series is over. I know he's your mentor, but every time you do something, I feel like the performance. Now, first game, the 13 assists, beautiful job, great. But just cool off on it until you get the ring. Then we can get into comparison mode. Please. just for me, bro. Like, just don't do it. It's okay. Like, nobody's going to be mad at you. You're a phenomenal
That's his man's, though, man.
I know that's his man's.
That's his man's, bro.
I understand, but he's got to just wait till the finals is over. Or, wait till the finals is over.
I mean, Kobe's lost in the finals, too.
Yeah, that's true,
too. Let's not forget that. So, I mean,
I don't think Kobe really texting like that during the finals, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kobe
if Kobe was here, he'd be like, "Man, stop texting me and play damn ball."
Yeah. Kobe got mad in the press conference when he was up 2-0 in the finals.
So
we'll see how it goes tonight.
Oh man, we talk after this.
Game 3 goes down tonight, so we'll see what happens in Game 3. Now we stay with the NBA with this one. This next one is interesting. Let's be honest, y'all. This Utah Jazz as an organization. They've been a solid organization I know since we were kids, at least since we were kids. You had Malone, you had maybe a couple of rough years here and there where it wasn't so good. But for the most part, you've had some really, really good years. But they never seem to be able to get over the hump. So the question is, what's next for the Utah Jazz? Do we see a rebuild here? Cody, I'm gonna start with you. I mean, do we see a rebuild with the Utah Jazz, man?
You got to do something. I mean, honestly, Utah has to do something. I look over their last 6 years; they made the playoffs each year, but the farthest they've ever made it is the second round of the playoffs. I know that they have some good players on there with Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley. I mean, they have great players, good players on there, but it's not moving the needle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's one of those things that every franchise is going to go through.
Keep going.
You cut me off already?
Keep going.
God dang.
Hey, that's my bad.
Your shot clock is on 15, bro.
But no, I mean, every franchise is going to go through this, right? Like, you're going to end up in a rebuild or for a few years, and you're going to start making the playoffs, right? But you're going to start hitting that threshold of like, all right, well, just because you made the playoffs now for a few years, like I need to see progress. And we haven't really seen that progress with Utah over the past 3 to 4 years. So it's time to do something. I think it is time to blow up that Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert duo. Send Rudy Gobert somewhere like, I don't know, maybe you can entice the Timberwolves so you can get Cat, or maybe.
I think Cody.
It's because he said Gobert for Cat.
Yeah, they didn't like that. Legacy on Fire put you in the poltergeist for that, bro.
That's what it's been like, Lamont. It's been crazy. I'm telling you.
That's wild. Do my man Cody like that? Oh, there he is.
It's treating everybody bad today.
I mean, what is going on?
I mean, we heard Gobert for Cat, and you just went out. Forces. So it's like I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe Cat heard what you said, man. He's like, "No, I ain't trying to do all that." But
I'm just trying to get some solutions to Utah.
I mean, Jimmy Butler might agree with that statement, but he was sensitive enough to pause it.
Ooh. James, what are your thoughts on this bad boy, brother?
I mean, if you're Utah, like Cody said, you definitely have to do something. You're kind of wasting the prime years that Donovan Mitchell does have. And in a sense, you got to do something to keep this guy interested. It's been rumored that he wants out of Utah at this point. Quinn Snyder stepped down. I believe that's been the only coach he's known since he's been in Utah. And like Cody said, you have to do something to move the needle. Utah is not exactly a free agent destination. Guys aren't lining up to play there. And the fact that you are making the playoffs means that you probably aren't getting the best draft picks either. And we've seen as of late with the NBA draft, you need one of those top picks somewhere in the lottery to hope you can snag a guy that can really be a difference maker. but it's just not looking good. So I'd say right now, you got to blow it up, try to make a trade for somebody to see if you can get some new blood in there, build this thing back up, see if you can do something.
It's just intriguing, man. Like I'm just watching the organization as a whole. They're always good, just never good enough. LT, what are your thoughts on this one, brother?
Yeah, they've been hitting the playoff wall, like Cody says, and I think it's the way that they structured the team, right? Like, because everything that they've done worked for them, but it didn't work enough to get them over the hump. So Mitchell still has 3 years on his contract, so that's an issue right there. Is like you are running out of time, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of holding you down a little bit. There's been rumors of talks, they might need to get like a long wing like DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks. But the big thing is Gobert, right? It's like you got to move him because the duo is just too much. You can't really add too much to it. Conley, I felt like was a great move for them. It just didn't work out, right? Whether it was injuries, whether it was because Clarkson and Ingles was doing more. And then with Gobert also, you got to hide his lack of offensive prowess, right? It's like he gives you a lot of stuff on defense, but offensively he's just not there. So you'll have to get rid of him. And then he's scheduled to make like $46 million by 2025. So it's not a good look. You got to do something.
No reason I'm to be making that much money.
I'm telling y'all, it's been crazy. But I agree. Like,
did it stick me too? I got stuck.
No, that was a user error on that one. Next we got Russ, man. What did the Jazz do to get this thing fixed?
I'll be honest. Like, I think the Jazz have just kind of been in a little bit of a slump since Jerry Sloan left. God rest his soul. They haven't been able to figure out Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if he's crossed that line to be a superstar yet in the league. He's very good. Can't blame, can't say he's not good. But like, if Rudy Gobert had some assembly of an offensive game, God bless his talents on defense, but he really can't do much on offense, really, or he should be doing more at least. But like, it don't make no sense when you're paying that much money for all defense and maybe 15 or 14 points a game. It's something about that form that doesn't work. So if you can find someone to take that contract, that'd be great. Of course, it'd probably be easier to move Mitchell, especially, Miami's looking for somebody else to go with Jimmy Butler. I'll be honest, I would call up Atlanta and see what John Collins is doing since, the Blazers are trying to get him, see if he's really that available. Why not pair, John Collins with Rudy Gobert? Take some of the pressure off of him down low in the post. Who knows?
All right. I like that.
Collins and Mitchell.
I will say this. It's just something about that Utah team, with D Wade there now. I don't know what the next move is. I've heard some of the coaches that they potentially could bring in, and no one is like, wow. Like, it's like a whole bunch of wow. Like, I don't really know. And maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need somebody who we don't know. But the biggest name I saw on there was Terry Stotts, or I say it wrong. Snot, whatever. Regardless, he's the biggest name that's on there. And, he was obviously up for that Laker job. Ham gets it. I'm just intrigued to see where this franchise goes. I mean, it's just they're like a bridesmaid. It's just, never the bride.
Hey, man, the Knicks will take Mitchell.
Well, there's a lot of people that would take Donovan.
That was like the one thing that they said that they're not going to do. I don't think they're going to get rid of Mitchell, though. And that's the thing. They've outright said that they're not trying to get rid of Mitchell, which means they're trying to find somebody to take that Rudy Gobert contract.
Yeah, they got to get rid of that's the
question. Right mind is taking that on, though.
Nobody in their right mind is taking that on, to answer the question.
Rudy's a good player, but like in today's NBA, he's
40 mil. Nah, bro.
NBA, he might be a dinosaur.
Hey, OKC will take on that if they give him some picks.
Listen,
that's true.
Rudy Gobert better be shooting his jumper. Facts. You making that money, you better be shooting his jumper on everything.
Yeah, so 40 mil, like, you gotta have some kind of offensive game. Like, in the regular season, it's cool because they make the playoffs, but it's like come playoff time, like the guys.
And that's the Jazz's problem strategy wise, right? Is that everybody realizes that. So then they strategize against them. Even 2 years ago, when they were the number one seeded team, it was like, okay, you're gonna do pick and roll off Rudy Gobert. It's like, okay, fine. Pop on the pick. Let Rudy do what he wants to, as long as he don't crash to the basket, and then they're screwed. they literally, it happened 3 years in a row. Like, you got to do something now. He's got to change his game, or something's got to change.
And obviously, with the team they have now, what they have constructed, it just doesn't seem like they're not gonna take that next step. So we'll see what happens with Utah over the next couple of months. Next topic. Oh, this one gonna be a fun one. It's our first NFL topic of the day. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. But yo, the Deshaun Watson situation. That's when we had started to think, okay, it's bad, but maybe it's not as bad as we thought it was. Like we knew that the accusers were out there. We knew things were a little bit kooky, but we didn't know that it was going to jump 40 plus women in just a day or so. With that being said, this next one, fellas, Deshaun Watson accusers continue to grow. What in the world do we do in the Deshaun Watson situation? LT, I'm gonna start with you, man. What do we do here? Like, what do we do with Deshaun Watson in this situation?
I think we all asked the Cleveland Browns for a contract. I mean, I don't know what we do. Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, honestly, it looks like when it's all said and done, it's not going to be over, and the chances of punishment aren't going to be over until at least I'm looking at March 2023, right? With all the cases going by and each thing that starts to unfold within this, we just don't know what's happening. We don't know how long he's going to be on the field. We don't know. So yeah, it's still premature at this point, but it's it's a wild ride. That's all I can say. Wild ride.
Look, use your words.
I mean, use your words. Hopefully it can be a happy ending.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Is it too soon?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Russ, what are your thoughts on this, man? Look, I know we probably shouldn't be laughing at this, but when you see how crazy the situation gets, it's a little bit hard to kind of like look past it. But Russ, anyway, what are your thoughts on the Deshaun Watson situation, brother?
God, I am having a hard time believing that the Browns are that fucking stupid. But then again, like, they probably are. But like, I don't get it. Like, one, you traded for a player who hasn't played in almost 2 years. So we don't know if that one season with the Texans was a fluke. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Two, guaranteed money. I hope to God that they got an opt out in there somewhere if he gets some sort of punishment where they can void that money. Because if they didn't, they are by far they are dumber than, God rest his soul, Al Davis drafting wide receivers in the first round every freaking year. But like, it makes absolutely no sense how this many people are coming forward with more and more facts. I don't get it. I can't comprehend. It's making me stutter. I can't.
I mean, it's one of those situations like you kind of feel like you have to tiptoe around it, because you really don't know if you don't want to offend anybody, but then you be like, bro, this is wild. But as we begin to hear more and more, I feel like we thought that we were in a clear spot, and then we're just not. Cody, what are your thoughts on this situation, brother?
It was, I don't know, an episode of Legacy on Fire that we did. Might have been earlier this year, later last year. I'm not sure. But I know that my Put It Out segment was talking about how the system nowadays seems like it's, not a innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until proven innocent. And I mean, I was really strong with that. And it was in regards to this Deshaun Watson case. But it seems like every second of the day, more information is coming out and coming out and coming out. And I mean, I feel like I'm eating my words by the minute, man, because it does not look good, and I know a lot of people have gone out and they've said, you've had all of these women come forward. You're trying to tell me that he didn't do something with one of them. And I'm starting to now believe that. It's like, dude, it's just people are coming out of the woodworks with this. I don't know if they're trying to tarnish his career or if he really did it, but I'm starting to lean another way with this, man. And it sucks. And to Russ's point, Browns are stupid, man.
They are dumb. Just dumb. So fucking dumb.
Next.
Yikes.
No, I saved this man for last because if y'all had been there for us when we were doing our pre-show for the show, his take is beautiful, and I'm gonna let him run with it. James, James, I may give you 2 minutes.
That was his uncut take.
Let him
if
go.
you're really gonna let me run with it, you got to take the timer off the table.
You heard it.
if we gonna run with it, we really got to run with it.
I'm gonna take my headphones off for a second and let him talk.
Let him go.
The fellas agree. Timer is off. James, you may go, sir.
Okay, all right. So first of all, Deshaun Watson still is an American citizen, innocent till proven guilty, legal proceedings, all that. Okay, that's fair. I get that. Now, as far as cases, he's looking at 24 cases total. And then according to a New York Times report, it's been alleged that 66 women have offered massages for Deshaun Watson over the course of the past 17 months. I mean, at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, 66 women over 17 months, let's just call it what it is. The man was purchasing product from these women. He was purchasing product from these women under the code name of a massage. That's the only thing I can think of at this point. 66 different women over a course of 17 months have massaged Deshaun Watson. The guy was purchasing product. And at this point, man, it doesn't look good. I mean, he will never win in the court of public opinion again.
It's over.
There is no way publicly, as far as his image, he can come back from this. It's just not possible at this point in time. Legally, criminally, there's a chance he gets away with this. Not gets away because he's innocent till proven guilty. There's a chance criminally he may not face charges for this. But yeah, it doesn't look good if you're in Watson's camp. Because it's 66 potential cases that he could now be facing from purchasing product. And it's like, look, man, if you purchased it, just go ahead, pay it off, pay your dues, and just go ahead and move on with this thing. Because you got the product.
He's 2 women away from filling out an NCAA bracket.
Oh my God,
Bro.
Jesus.
I wonder who's in the Final Four.
I mean, all I know is, listen, in these days and times of the blow up and the naming rights in the media, you better get your rights to this Netflix special now. Get it now so you can get some money back. Deshaun, get it now.
Oh no, Deshaun got that 234 from Cleveland guaranteed. He's straight.
I mean, yeah, but how much of that is going to be court fees, though? That's what I'm saying.
There's some language in that contract, I think, where they can get out of this. Where if it's
if the Browns are the one that filled up the contract, they probably gave $500 million.
I mean,
bro, who is that agent? I need to borrow Tree bro, for real.
Who's the agent? I think it's what.
Who is his agent? Because I need to borrow Tree Fitty, bro.
Real quick, I want to say this though. Like, if you really look at this though, seriously, right? Like, I don't know if there was some information withheld, but from the Texans and Deshaun Watson, or if the Browns just didn't really do their homework on everything that was going on. But I mean, look at the ramifications of this, right? Like, you give up all of these future picks to Houston, right? And now you possibly don't have this guy to play.
Right.
The quarterback that, has made you a playoff team for the first time in 20 years, he no longer wants to play for you. And I can see him being petty and saying, hey, I'm not playing for y'all. Even if Deshaun's not playing, I'm still not playing. So it's like the Browns really did fumble this, man.
I think he has already, though. I think, but Baker's already said he doesn't want to go.
I know he got excused from camp.
Done. Like he's in his mind. Look, Jacoby Brissett will be the starter in week 1. The way this is going,
they about to call Manziel back, man.
No. You cannot have those 2 problems on one team at one time. No.
I find it impossible that
Johnny will be purchasing product too. No.
Facts.
No.
I mean, shoot. I mean, if at this point, Cleveland's the one that needs to get a court proceeding and a lawsuit because Deshaun done got them worse than he could. Listen.
And look, I'm telling you, the situation is so crazy, and there's so much you want to say. But I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, Deshaun may be in an extremely bad spot. But we got to remember one thing: the Houston Texans. If that article is true, these mother suckers They knew
assistant
better.
in product
But
purchasing.
Can we not expect something from a franchise that gave away all their talent, that just consistently just does dumb stuff, and now they're in a situation. I feel bad for Lovie Smith, man. He don't deserve this. It's just a bad situation, man.
I find it impossible that the Texans didn't know something.
They
I really
had to.
don't. Like either they knew something and they're just trying to hush it up and be like,
They
"Oh, I
got
don't
that
know."
man's schedule.
Their
James just said
lawyers are
It just
crap.
came out
Like
too quick.
I can't do it. No,
He asked for the trade. He asked for the trade.
All
A
this
week
comes out.
later, if not less than a week later, all of a sudden, accusers come out. I said, God dang, really? I mean, that quick? Ain't no way.
But then not only that, wasn't it rumored that he was using some of the Texans' equipment for some of these instances?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's getting equipment from the facility, I mean, I know if I own a massage table, like I just got a player like just borrowing my stuff on the daily. It's like all right, it's cool, but like what you doing with that in a sense? Like it's my stuff in good hands at least.
There's a sign of nowhere.
There's got to be some way to track how often this table was used. Was it table number 4? Is it table number 6?
That was a crazy choice of words there.
Yeah, what a word.
I need to know.
I'll say if there's one franchise right now with all this coming out that their owner probably at this point, if all this comes out to be true, that needs to sell their team more than the actual Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them, it's going to be McNair and all this because his legal team just got awful.
I 3 franchises right now. The Dolphins, with the whole, thing with our man down there for Flores. That's bad. That I'd probably put that at 3. And then this Texans, it's a tough deal. I probably put the Texans at 2. And then I'd probably put Washington.
Oh yeah, nothing's topping Washington, man, because this has been going on for like 20 years in Washington.
This is rough.
They've been purchasing product and selling product overseas.
That man's a kingpin. I'm sorry.
All right, let's move on because I think we'll be on Deshaun for a hot minute. All right, the next topic that we got on hand is
like
one of the best running backs of all time, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Gore. He finishes his NFL career. He retired last week. Finishes NFL career with 16,000, right on the dot, 16,000 rushing yards. He was only, I believe, 72 yards behind Barry Sanders. He was that close to becoming number 2 if he could have latched on. It may have been like maybe 200 yards, but he was not far away from Barry Sanders to becoming number 2 all time. But a lot of people look at Frank Gore, and it's hard to say, but a lot of people don't see him as I've heard some people say he's not a Hall of Famer. I've heard some people say he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, whatever. I need to hear it from the fellas, man. Frank Gore, man. Is Frank Gore a first ballot Hall of Famer? Cody is rubbing his hands. He is anxious. Cody, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes. I don't want to hear anything else. And listen to me. If you want to talk about like, oh, well, he just latched on the past, 3 or so years of his career just to continue playing and getting yards, we could say the same thing about Emmitt Smith when he pulled that charade to go down to Arizona.
Thanks.
All right, Emmitt Smith was playing for one reason, and that was to break Walter Payton's record. If you look at the top 12 running backs as far as all-time yards, rushing yards, as far as the ones that are retired and were eligible to be in the Hall of Fame, only 2 did not make it first ballot. That's Curtis Martin and Jerome Bettis. Well, Frank Gore has over 3,000 more rushing yards than both of them. Okay. Frank Gore is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I brought up Emmitt Smith for a reason. I'm not going to sit here and say Frank Gore was better than Emmitt Smith. I know the clock's going to go off, but I got to get this off.
Get it out.
Right.
Get it out.
but let's look at it. They played about the same time as far as years, games, so forth. He finished with about 2,000 less rushing yards than Emmitt Smith. But Emmitt Smith had one of the best offensive lines to run behind. He had a great quarterback. He had a great wide receiver. Teams had to game plan around everything for Dallas. What did teams really have to game plan around San Francisco when Frank Gore was there? They weren't game planning against Alex Smith. That's for sure. Maybe when Colin Kaepernick was there. But, I mean, listen, man, Frank Gore, first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't want to hear anything else.
All right. James, what are your thoughts on this? Frank Gore, first ballot Hall of Famer?
Shit, Cody going to have to hear it. I don't think so, man. First ballot? Nah, no. I mean, he has the stats, he has the numbers. I feel like what's going to keep him from being a first ballot guy, he didn't win any Super Bowls. He's never been a league MVP. He didn't have the singular accolades to go along with a first ballot Hall of Fame career. Typically, when you think of a first ballot guy, it's a guy who has won championships, where he was the guy, he was the bus driver on the team in a sense. He has the MVPs, he has the accolades to go along with it. Frank Gore, in my opinion, he just has the numbers. He has the numbers to support a Hall of Fame career. He doesn't have the numbers and accolades to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my honest opinion. And it's only my opinion. You know, y'all might feel differently. I know Cody definitely does with his thumbs down over there, but it's like, what? No, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm sorry.
All right. Russ is my man. Frank Gore, a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, I will say first to James's point, because I have to, because the numbers in my head. Out of the top 10 rushing leaders of all time, 3 or 4 of them have not won MVP of the league. That'd be him, Curtis Martin, Eric Dickerson, and I want to say Jerome Bettis never won it. And I think Tony Dorsett. So it might be actually 4 for half of them actually in the top 10 have not won MVP. So I wouldn't say it relies on that. The Super Bowl and the playoff record, it sucks that he never got there, but also like the longevity of his career alone should get him eligible for some sort of at least second or third year entry. But then you actually factor in the actual individual stats with what Cody was saying. Third all time, 16,000 yards even. Tied for top 20 for rushing touchdowns all time, 81. Most games played by a running back in NFL history with 241, started like 219, 220 of them. So like the longevity of his career and the actual excellence each year, I think should get him close to that first ballot.
LT, first ballot, Frank Gore. What are we saying?
Okay. Incredible guy, incredible career. I'm going to put it like this. I was reading about it and I saw one person who put it very elegantly. They said, no matter when you get into the Hall of Fame, that tint of gold on the jacket is the same, right? And it meant a lot to me because if you think about it, about 3 or 4 players from each team has about 3 or 4 guys they feel like should get in, and they're always going to say they get snubbed, right? Because it's a sensational feeling. All right, if you think about that, 3 or 4 guys times 32, that's 128 players or so vying for what, the 5 to 6 spots a year. So when you think about it, off of the feeling alone, off the fanatics and the sensation, there are going to be guys who should get in, and there have been guys historically that should get in and don't get in because of who's running or whatever the case is. So he might not get first ballot, and I'm okay with him not getting first ballot, but he should definitely get in the Hall of Fame. And his tint of gold is going to be the same shade as everybody else's. He belongs there.
I love it. I will say this. I think with Frank, it's like he's one of those players that when you go back and listen to, what do you hear most about running back? After 30, it's a wrap. And so that alone,
after 28, it's a wrap.
I'm not saying it's a first ballot, but that alone, in my opinion, for him to still be able to go another 8 years, tack on another 8 years, he's come off crazy injuries, and that would have ended a lot of other careers. But Frank Gore, as tough as they come, still wanted to play last year. Couldn't latch on to a team, and I think he realized, then he got knocked out by Darren Williams, but we're not going to talk about that because that was a little bit rough. He got beat up by Darren Williams. It was.
I will say the one thing that is, I'm sitting here saying he's a first ballot. I do believe that, but it also does go with, well, who are the 25 they're picking from, in that class? Because if you look at who's retired this year. What, Ben Roethlisberger? He's first ballot. We know that. Did Larry Fitzgerald ever officially retire? Because if he does retire this year, he's 100% first ballot Hall of Fame. Yeah, so that only leaves you with about 3 or so spots. I mean, it's a lot of logistics with this.
That's only this year, though. Still doesn't count for the.
It doesn't count for who didn't make it last year or the.
That's the issue.
But I'm still saying first ballot. I'll die on that hill.
If he got in first ballot, I would be cool with that personally. I mean, if anybody, if he got in the first battle, I could deal with it. I wouldn't be mad if he did. Let's just put it
out of 16 seasons, he's only had one season where he's played less than 14 games.
That's the durability.
He's an Iron Man for sure.
Exactly. So
the closest thing to Cal Ripken of NFL in the last 15, 20 years.
Touche. All right. All right, he had to be like, I
don't know what that was.
Brent's got some problems, so I'm gonna let that fly. I'm just gonna I'm gonna leave that one alone. Now, the next one, our last fire starter before we hit the main flame. I mean, this one I know bothered a couple people. I was told that I was hated because of the topic, but I'm gonna throw it in there anyway. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Who are you choosing? Are you choosing Reggie White, the Minister of Defense, or are you choosing the Terminator, Aaron Donald, to lead your defensive line? I know it's tough. I've got a lot of dirty looks when I put this one up there, but it was tough for me. I'm not gonna lie, because last week I thought, oh man, LT and AP, I thought I was doing something right.
Oh, that was rough.
I gotta come correct this week. So this week we go with one of the maybe the greatest defensive lineman all time, and maybe the utmost up and coming, the guy who could be right on the pedestal of taking that spot. Who knows? But I want to hear from the guys. Who you choosing? Reggie White or Aaron Donald? I don't know who wants to go first. You know what? Because he loves me so much, Russ, who you choosing? Aaron Donald or Reggie White?
You know what? I'm kind of glad you got me first, because honest to God, I hate you so much for making me try to choose this. So I'm gonna waste like 15 seconds right there trying to think of how much I hate you for asking me this question. But when you think about it, this is one of those things where it's just like, pull the freaking trigger, because I don't want to choose between them. You look at their numbers, just even like stat wise or awards wise. Aaron Donald has three defensive MVPs. White has 2. Aaron Donald was one of only 3 people to get those 3 MVPs. The other ones are LT and JJ Watt. They both have 1 Super Bowl. White has 13 All Pros, 8-time first team. Donald only has 7, but that's every year since he's been in the league. So 7-time all every year, except for his rookie season since he's been in the league. 13-time Pro Bowler for Reggie White, 8 for Aaron Donald. Every year he's been in the league. Both of them were top draft picks. Both of them set numerous records. Even when you look at like their college stats, like their college stats are out of this freaking water too for defensive linemen. So like I
do it.
Just pull the trigger, Russ.
Come on, say it.
I hate you.
Suspense is killing me.
No, you don't. You actually factually don't. If I had to choose,
do it.
Gun to my head, I'm gonna feel horrible for saying this.
Say it.
Do it.
But I think I'm gonna lean towards Reggie White, and I feel like shit for saying that. I really do. But like,
you can't go wrong. You can't be wrong.
You really can't. Like the tiebreaker for me though, like is when you look at their college stats. Reggie White had 253 college tackles to Aaron Donald's 181. 200 and one of them were solo tackles to 115 to Aaron Donald's solo tackles. 32 sacks, 19 tackles for loss, an interception, 3 forced fumbles, and 4 fumble recoveries. And that was in Tennessee in the SEC. Honest to God, Aaron Donald's college competition wasn't that great because he spent like the first 3 years in the Big East and 1 in the ACC. But like I had to look back at their college days, and that's probably what tipped the scale. But I still feel like I got it wrong because I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
No wrong answers. Just who you choosing. All right, next, James. Who do you got in this bad boy? Reggie White or Aaron Donald?
Russ gave everybody the stats. He gave everybody the numbers.
Oh, I got more.
I'm gonna just let y'all know who my pick is. I'm going Aaron Donald, man. You know what? I said it. There it is. I'm going Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, while they play different positions on the defensive line, Reggie White was more of the defensive end, exterior edge rusher guy. Aaron Donald, more of an interior defensive guy. He's rushing from the inside. He can move to outside, which I'm pretty sure Reggie White could have did both as well. I'm going with Aaron Donald, man. I mean, he's a force on the inside. As Russ said, he's been a Pro Bowler ever since he came into the league. He's been a 7-time All-Pro. He's also, I believe, led the league in sacks since he's entered the league as well. I mean, the guy is a force. I mean, there is footage of Aaron Donald literally being blocked by 3 men, and they still have a time just holding him up. The guy is only 6'1", 280, and there are 300-pound men that he throws around on a weekly basis for a living. I'm going with Aaron Donald. You could hate me, you could love me. I don't give a damn. Aaron Donald's my pick.
I don't give a damn.
Aaron Donald's
I
my
don't think
pick.
there's a wrong answer here, but I love seeing everybody cringe just a little bit when it comes to this answer. Cody, who do you got in this one, man? AD or Reggie White, the Minister of Defense?
Yeah, absolutely hate this question. I mean, that's like saying, hey, who you can take, Barry Sanders or Jerry Rice? Like, they didn't play the same position. You know, it's hard to, it's like, what do you value more? But just looking at it, though, I'm going Aaron Donald. And look, Reggie White, the best defensive end to ever play the game, in my opinion, right? Aaron Donald, the best defensive tackle to ever play the game, in my opinion. All right. My thing is this. In today's league, the guys that Aaron Donald is going against are bigger, stronger, faster, and he's still cutting through these guys like it's nothing, man. He's getting triple teamed all the time, which if we want to factor in everything, right? We're not just factoring in the stats. He's making everybody around him better because of all the focus that teams are putting on him in the middle of that defense. It's almost like flipping a coin. There's no wrong answer here. It's not. But Aaron Donald, come on, man. Almost 100 sacks and only played 8 seasons, man.
Right. That's the thing. There's no wrong answer. I feel like it's just I'm so glad I was able to bounce back from last week. Had me worried after last week. I was like, I gotta find a good one. I'm gonna be even better next week. I ain't gonna tell y'all what I got in store for you next week, but I'm ready for next week.
Wow.
Hey,
first of all, I'm gonna say that for Darrell for coming up with this question, I think we should all take turns and put on a helmet and fully watch this guy because it's insane. All right,
I know where he lives.
How good this is. Okay, so the eye test does tell me Aaron Donald that I would choose him over Reggie White, but all the facts, I can't do it. Most of the people, when you tell them to list their top 3 defensive players of all time, Reggie White I've seen has been in there more than Aaron Donald has. And I think it's only because of longevity. But I will say this, 6'5", 325 with amazing speed. What people don't know about Reggie White is he did start off inside. He started off playing inside, but he moved to the outside because he was so daggone good. And it's just like, there's so many things. Brett Favre doesn't get a ring without him. Okay. You had 9 seasons in a row with 10 or more sacks. That's still the record to this day. Nobody has broken that. Okay. Think about Aaron Donald's career. He has 98 sacks for the career, right? You have to add 100 more sacks. You have to double his sacks in his career right now to get to Reggie White. That's how crazy that is. Reggie White was a freaking monster. I can't choose. Maybe when his career is done and it's all said and done, I can choose Aaron Donald. But for right now, the longevity has to count for something, and I'm going Reggie White.
Also,
has Reggie White ever faced a triple team though? I mean, Reggie White again triple team.
Yes,
on the field.
Listen, Reggie
has he?
I'm pretty sure he has. Listen, Reggie White. They used to. You know how they said Dion was the first lockdown corner. Reggie White was one of the first guys that they didn't run any plays to the side he was on. He could line up on the other side of the field, and they would not come that way on purpose because of Reggie White. Like that.
Problem.
Go back and look at his impact.
I mean, to be fair on the sacks thing, it's like 198 sacks. That's a lot. Don't get me wrong, I get it, but like, isn't it easier to get a sack as a defensive end than it is as a defensive tackle?
But that's why they moved him there, and that's what I'm telling you.
And I'm not denying that
he used to play defensive tackle, and people don't even know that because of how good he was on the edge.
I just look at it like this. I think that the defensive tackle that had the most sacks by a defensive tackle, I think, is by John Randall, who has like 137, right? But he also played like 15 seasons. So if Aaron Donald continues where he is, he's going to crush that record.
But it's the magic.
It probably is very close to where Reggie White is. So let's just say he ends up 20 sacks below Reggie
after this year, which is crazy. But think about it.
Man needed a pay increase.
You got to say,
and after he hears his show, he's playing as long as Reggie White did.
Listen, all I'm saying is I don't see many people having them in that list like they did Reggie White, and because his time is past, it's. I'm telling you, man, it was that need.
There's a whole bunch of people in the world. I get it, but every time that I hear or that I'm seeing any sort of discussion about defensive players, I'm always hearing people say, "Is it Aaron Donald? Is it Lawrence Taylor?" That's all I'm hearing.
Nah, bro. Exactly. But that's the thing. Go back and I'm saying, like, go find the professionals about who their top 3 defensive players are. Aaron Donald's hot because his name is last 8 years hot, right? But when you say of all time, whenever I see Lawrence Taylor, the two names that come up is Reggie White and Bruce Smith. Those are the 2 names that everybody else is throwing out there.
Longevity,
Bro, but those are the names that the experts are throwing out there. They're not doing They're not doing Aaron Donald yet.
Is this Gil Brandt throwing these numbers out, bro? Because if it's Gil Brandt who was born when the Titanic was
definitely
down.
not. Right. We're not doing Jerry Jones days. Okay? We're not doing dinosaur days. I'm just saying, like it remains to be seen, right? Like 8 years only. I'm picking Aaron Donald. Don't get me wrong, but other than that, it has to count for something. It has to.
I'll say if you showed a dinosaur Aaron Donald, the dinosaur would probably take Aaron Donald. That's what I'm saying. From your dinosaur reference, like we're not doing dinosaur days. If you showed a dinosaur Aaron Donald, I'm pretty sure the dinosaur is taking Donald. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that Reggie White looks like he's ate a bunch of dinosaurs before. Have you seen him? There's no way you should look at Reggie White at 325 pounds and not be able to run away from him. That's not real. Yeah. That's not real. Like,
there's no way you should be able to get bullied by a 6'1", 280 pound interior defensive lineman, man.
Look, I will say this. Last thing I'm going to say about it. I will say this. Reggie White did come up, and this is to Reggie White's point. All right. He came up in a time where, I mean, it was more ground and pound than it was actually throwing the ball, right? Yes. So for you to get that many sacks in an era where it's like the quarterback might be dropping back 20 times a game as opposed to 40. 2 different teams,
2 different schemes, right? 2 times where he had to really prove himself. And like I said, 10 plus sacks for 9 years in a row. There's nobody else who's done that. Like, right? Like for him to have an accolade like that nobody else has touched, Aaron's coming, right? But right now, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Yeah. I love it. I will say this. Y'all already know where I'm going with this one. I'm not even gonna. I'm a homer, so I'm not even. But I will say this:
is he even allowed to answer?
Performed tremendously on the biggest stage. They both performed tremendously on the biggest stage. They both unfortunately lost the Super Bowl, but they both also won a Super Bowl. But when they won that Super Bowl, Reggie White could have. If Desmond Howard doesn't take those kickoff returns for touchdowns, Reggie White is the MVP of that Super Bowl. Yep. My man was hip tossing, and that's another thing, the hip toss move. My man was hip tossing.
Gotta mention it.
Linemen. I mean, these some gigantic men. He was like, "Get out of here!" And he was just he-manning people.
Listen, and when you watch it though, it's like they literally he was throwing them. He would throw. You talking about Aaron Donald? This man was throwing offensive linemen around.
He was throwing them around, and that's the part for me. I know there's so much more to it. AD is amazing. The Terminator getting triple team. I mean, and I agree with everybody on this panel. Especially if you give him another couple years, there's no way that you're not either he's not at that level or super past that level. I mean, to be honest with you, it's probably like right here.
I agree.
This is where it's probably like about right there. It's tough. I know these questions are tough, but I got to go with my man Reggie. But man,
the fact that we're asking this question when Aaron Donald's only 8 years into his career and Reggie
is ridiculous.
Played like 14 seasons, and this is a legit question when he's played half the time Reggie White is in his career so far.
Crazy.
That speaks volumes in itself.
He's halfway there. I mean, he's on pace. He's on pace to, if he played the same amount of seasons, he's on pace to go past. He's on pace to go past. So
that record that Lamonte was talking about, 9 consecutive seasons, the only player to do 9 consecutive seasons with at least 10 plus sacks. Aaron Donald is in the middle of a streak himself with 5. If he plays 4 more seasons, he's going to get that. He's going to get that record, as well as he might be Barry Sanders.
Think about that. It's still 9 plus 10 plus sacks a season. Right, like it's pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
That's insane.
It is.
He might also tie Barry Sanders in the only other player to make the Pro Bowl every single year of his career as well.
Oh, I can definitely see that.
I could see
Because
that
like
too.
you look at it right now, what other defensive tackle are you going to vote for as a Pro Bowler over him right now?
I mean, and look, here's the
Nobody
thing with
puts-
like the Defensive Player of the Year award, right? Like, I think Aaron Donald is going to start getting that like Michael Jordan, LeBron James treatment. Like, we know you're good. We're going to pick somebody else. Like, there's nothing you can do
Well,
to top yourself. We're going to start picking other people.
Even with that, he's only one of three people to ever win it more than twice. And JJ Watt's the other one. And who's the other one? Lawrence Taylor. One of only three people. You're going to tell me he's not going to win another one within the next couple of years, and he's going to have that record by himself? There's no question he's probably the greatest defensive player of all time.
Most definitely the man.
I love it. There it is. Who you choosing this week? I can't wait for next week. I got to come up with something good next week, really good, because y'all came to play on this one on who you choosing. Now we switch from the fire starters as we go to the main flame. And this
how is that not the main flame? What the hell are you talking about, boss?
Yeah, that was probably should have been the main flame.
That was tough.
It's a process, man. You got your fire starters, then the flame goes into fire, and then you got to put out the fire, man. It's a three stage process here, bro.
Shit, we put the fire out and started it again with that last one.
I know. So here we go. The main flame. My fault. Here we go. Top 5 franchises in sports. And this, you can go anywhere on this one, but I want to know you guys top 5 franchises in all of sports. I know this is going to be an interesting one. There's a couple more leagues I could have put in there, but this is going to be a fun one. I think I'm going to start with Russ because I feel like Russ is going to have a very intriguing list. So I want to start off with Russ. 2 minutes on the clock this time, y'all, for your top 5.
I went first last time.
Huh?
I went first last time.
Yeah,
all right, LT, you go first then.
Damn.
All right, LT. Russ has slid his first on, so LT will go first. LT, give me your top 5 franchise.
I don't like this question. I mean, I'm gonna start off and say that, like, top 5. Like, what do you mean top 5? Because there's so many different ways you can divvy it up, right? You got like the most profitable. You have the the runs, the dynasties. You have the nostalgia. It's just so much. But okay, fine, I'll play. You gotta hats off to the Yankees, right? It's just too much. Like, right, you can see the symbol itself and it will make you feel some type of way. So you gotta go Yankees. I gotta say the Lakers. All that greatness and on one franchise is just they could have a story by themselves in basketball. After that, it gets murky. I'll say this: you possibly have to do the Celtics because for the argument that I have of the Lakers, you have to do the Celtics. And with that being said, it's almost like I gotta say the Red Sox because the Yankees are only the Yankees when they have a Red Sox. So there's 4, and then the 5 is like I ain't pick and choose. Like there's so many. Of course, my favorite league is the NFL, so I kind of string in there, but it's hard to say, man. Like it's hard. You got the Steelers. You got everybody loves or hates the Cowboys. It's like you almost got to throw them in there because it's like without that history and without that I don't know, that long standing of love or hate, it makes the game what it is. So I would say, yeah, you could throw that. You could throw the Cowboys in there. Why not?
Intriguing. So let's see what we got there. Red Sox, Yankees, Celtics,
Lakers,
and then you said the last team was
Cowboys.
Okay. All right. James, give me your top 5 franchises in all of sports. James is like, why me?
I mean, like LT said, man, it's just kind of tough, and it's like it depends on how you judge the list, or like how you want to rank the criteria. And I guess I'm just go with what he did as far as like from a notoriety standpoint or like a visibility standpoint, the top 5 teams across sports that just like everybody knows at least who that team is, or like most of America does, most of the world even does. Number 1, of course, I would have to say it's the Yankees for both on the field and off the field. I mean, Jay-Z had the line itself. I made the Yankee hat more famous than Yankee can. Like everybody knows what that hat is. Everybody knows when they see that symbol, they know what it is. Second, I would have to go with the Lakers. I mean, from a historical and basketball standpoint, they don't have the most championships in the leagues. That's the Celtics, but the most notable players, I mean, all their big name guys on their teams have all won championships, I believe, except for Elgin Baylor, maybe Jerry West. But most of the times, they're stars. They win big, they win consistently. So I would have to say the Lakers would be 2. 3, I'm going to say the Cowboys would be 3 because no matter where you are in the world, people recognize that star. They know what it is. And like the crazy part is the Cowboys haven't won a championship since the 90s, but it's like, I mean, people rep that fan base hard, like around the world. So I would go Dallas 3. Man, like, all right, so we got what, 4 and 5.
You got 4 and 5.
It's rough.
4 and 5. I mean, just to switch it up, I'm gonna say Chicago, the Bulls. I'm gonna say the Bulls. Mike had the Bulls hot for a while. When you still think of the Bulls, you still think of Mike, you still think of 23, the sneakers, all that. I'm gonna say the Bulls 4. And 5, I'm gonna take it back to the NFL. And I'm gonna say the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they've had dominant history across decades. So I'm gonna say Yankees, Lakers, Cowboys. Who did I have that for? Shoot,
it was
Chicago.
Uh-huh. And then that doesn't look good for my list now. And then
I like
Steelers.
it. I like the list, bro.
That's a solid list.
I like it.
That's a hard one, man. All right,
yeah,
that one's tough.
I saw Stabby. You raised your hand. Are you ready?
Oh no, I to be honest, I want to go last, but I love you, James. You my boy, but I had to correct you on the stat. The Lakers and the Celtics are actually tied for the most championships at 17. If the Celtics win this year, they break the tie.
My man, Stabby.
Maybe it's appearances. Maybe it's appearances that the Celtics got them on.
Yeah.
They
Oh
got
yeah.
appearances for sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's close.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, Cody. Stabman wants to go last. So I'm the top 5 here. Give me your top 5 franchises in the sports.
All right, so at number 1, I'm going with the New York Yankees. They are worth $5.2 billion. This is as of 2021. I believe a new study just came out, and I wasn't able to find it, so I'm going based off of 2021. Worth $5.2 billion. They have 27 World Series, so they've shown dominance in their sport. I believe they're the most popular team in the MLB. And in regards to what the franchise is worth, that's second all-time in all of sports. At 2, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. They're worth $5.7 billion, have won 5 Super Bowls, probably the most popular team in the NFL, and they're actually first all-time or first overall in all sports as far as what a franchise is worth. At number 3, I'm going with the Los Angeles Lakers, 17 NBA Finals championships, worth $4.7 billion, probably the most popular NBA team. And they are 7th overall as far as what all franchises are worth. At 4, I'm going with the New England Patriots. They're worth $4.4 billion. They have 6 Super Bowls, which is tied for the most. And they are 8th overall as far as what all franchises are worth. And then at 5, this was tough, but I just wanted to my tiebreaker was the dominance in the sport, along with fans and obviously how much they're worth. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers, worth $3 billion, have won 6 Super Bowls. Again, that's tied for most in the NFL. And they are 32nd overall as far as what all franchises are worth.
I like the list.
I like it too.
I like it. Russ. All right, Russ. See, I know Russ' list is going to be wild, but it's going to be a good wild, though. I'm telling you because Russ is going to dig deep. Russ, what do you got on this one, man? Give me your top 5 franchises, brother.
Well, to be honest, I think me and Cody might be doing the same kind of research because I also took into effect a little bit of the Forbes most valuable franchises from last year. I think the list that he was talking about was the most valuable sports entities. Because I want to say it's like the Braves are part of that number 1 group right now by Forbes. But number 5, I got the Lakers. Cody already said it. worth $4.6 billion. That was the 7th overall in sports. Number 4, I have the Knicks. The MSG, of course, I would factor into that as well. The mecca of sports in the most popular city in the world, in New York City. Of course, Cody already. I think Cody mentioned it. They are worth $5 billion themselves, third all from last year's Forbes list. And then number 3 is where I get a little bit different. Number 3, considering that we don't talk about this sport that much, I have a combination of just Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, and PSG soccer teams.
I do. It's coming, yes, sir.
When you think about it, the three best players that anyone would probably name right now, or at least ones that people know, are Messi, Ronaldo, and Kylian Mbappe. Those 3 play for Messi plays for PSG. He just left Barcelona. Ronaldo still plays for Real Madrid, and then Mbappe is his teammate in PSG. But everyone knows Man U and Man City as well. Just English Premier League soccer. Who doesn't know that if you know anything about soccer? Number 2, Cowboys, America's team, even though I don't think so. Who doesn't know the Cowboys? But the only team that endorsed the Cowboys and just bandwagon fans, whether they're real or not, is the greatest franchise in all of sports history, and that is the New York Yankees. Thank you very much. The name speak for itself. What do you say? They bought 17 or 27 championships. Don't be jealous because your team couldn't. It's just the facts. It's literally just the facts. Like, the Yankees are the best, the most popular team in all of sports world, and it helps right now that they are the best team in MLB. I'm gonna throw that out there. That has nothing to do with it, but I don't care.
I love it. So all right. So for mine, I'm gonna kind of go quick on the list here. Number 1, obviously the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees are, who they are. I mean, you're not gonna sit here and act like the Yankees are not the Yankees. Like y'all said, I mean, they're the most recognizable franchise in the world, in my opinion. And I knew a stat man was going to give me a soccer team in there. I knew it. I was like, Barcelona. I knew it was Barcelona.
I thought about Barcelona.
I knew it was
for real.
One of them. But that's why I wanted to give you a shout out on that. Number 2, I would go with the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers are just they're right there. They're the names, the Chamberlains, the Kobe's, the Shaqs. I mean, it's just everybody, most people growing up, players want to be a Laker. Most players wanted, they wanted that opportunity. Tatum, according to everybody, he wanted to be a Laker. Like, that's something that they wanted. Number 3, I'm gonna go. I guess I'll say it, but we'll go with the Dallas Cowboys at number 3. They are America's team, and I agree with James. I believe James said it. Haven't won a championship in 25 years, but I'm gonna tell you what, ain't nothing like a Cowboy fan, because they're different. I mean, there's some really cool Cowboy fans, and then there's not some really cool Cowboy fans. And y'all know who y'all are. I'm not gonna trash y'all too bad.
But Cowboys tears are like dragon blood.
Right. It's a different mindset when
it's a special place in our heart for all of it.
Yeah. All right. So then, all right. So this one is different, but I'm gonna give the Montreal Canadiens some love, because they've won the most Stanley Cups. And, yes, they may not be in a great franchise in there, but to win that many Stanley Cups, I'm going to give them some love there. I'm going to base it off on the championship run there. So I'm going to give Montreal their love there. And then number 5, Green Bay Packers. Okay, Green Bay Packers.
I understand it.
You can look at me all you want, Cody. Green Bay has the most championships in the NFL. That'll be 13, sir. That is 4 Super Bowls and 9 NFL championships.
Back with them
leather helmets, some cowboy type fans type stuff right now.
Leather helmets.
They have the most championships in the most popular sport.
God daggone.
That's all.
Bart Starr.
So they won 9 when there was only like 7 teams. Got it.
That's fine. That's fine. But still, we there. So hey, I'm going. I'm picking on that one.
With their little $3.4 billion
go
worth.
Pack, go. What? Whatever. My top 5.
Y'all ain't even got real stock.
Hey man, you leave.
Oh snap!
Your phone ain't stock.
Look,
they got phony stock and wide receivers too.
He said just because they only got a closed 5 stores,
that's
so
what I was
everybody
gonna
can watch
say.
the game.
The next who would you take should be like Devontae Adams versus Randall Cobb or something.
You know what? That's it. You know what?
Hey, bro.
No. The next
don't do that to that man.
Next one you take is should they take 2 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks for Devontae Adams?
Oh my gosh. My bad, Dio. My bad.
All right, we're going to the next topic. All right, everybody. I think y'all know what time it is because they acting up. they acting up. I think y'all know what time it is.
Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to put out the fire. And we're going to finish this one up. Lord. That's been today's show.
That's what that gets.
That's been today's show.
Interrupting all this greatness.
I'm gonna tell you what. All right, so let's go ahead and put out the fire here on episode 32. I'm gonna give an opportunity. Who wants to go first before I decide to choose anybody? Cody's got his hand up. Cody, go ahead and put out the fire.
This is gonna be really quick, and actually, Dio, you're probably going to forgive me for what I said about the Packers because I'm gonna be talking about a team that you probably don't like. All right. I'm tired of the preseason hype every year for the Los Angeles Angels. Okay. This is a team who has one of the best players to play Mike Trout, one of the best dual players in Ohtani, right? And it's like every year they hit free agency and they bring in the next guy that's really going to take them over the top. And what do? They do absolutely nothing. They started off 27-18 or it was something crazy. Now they've lost like 13 straight. I mean, it's like this franchise who possibly has 2 of the top 10 players in the MLB can't make the playoffs. They can't finish over 500. I'm just tired of the preseason hype every single year on the Los Angeles Angels, man. I'm starting to like hate the team and we barely play them. That's all I got.
Oh no, you were right. They have 2 of the top best players in the league,
it's crazy
no doubt.
For you to have 2 MVPs on your team. You had Albert Pujols at one point, but look, Albert leaves and he's having like a little baby resurgence out there in St. Louis. You know, he just had to go back home and now he's balling out. But it's something. What is it about this franchise? Maybe it's because the Dodgers are on the other side of town. Maybe they should have never changed their name to Anaheim. Or change their name from Anaheim. Are they in the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim now? Trash. Go back to go back to the California Angels. I mean, that's where your bloodline is.
They need the Angels in the outfield, man.
Facts. I need
Facts.
JP. I need JP. JP will get us where we need to go. But when you go back, and this team hasn't been good since they won. Maybe a couple years after they won the World Series, they went to the playoffs.
I mean, it's been like 15 years, man. It's ridiculous.
Man, I can't talk that much trash because my team has made the playoffs since I was junior in high school. So, but I still, don't like the Angels. All right, who wants to go next here? Who's going to put out the fire next? I think LT wants to put out the fire. LT, put out the fire.
Okay, listen. We touched, we joked, we laughed about this Deshaun Watson thing. Okay. Just looking at it from a broader scope, like we gotta be accountable. Okay. We gotta be accountable. Like it's all fun and games just to sit back and, and then laugh about it. But, to the victims, I just encourage that, we act on an individual basis, right? Because these are people's lives we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And even when it comes to Deshaun's, right? Like, we got to have some accountability, right? Owners, coaches, all of it, right? Like, we've seen these stuff trickle down. Like, I mean, even if you go back as far as the Jerry Sandusky and, all that stuff, like, I just feel so weird about how we hold Pete Rose to this whole accountability thing for the integrity of the game, but yet we treat people's lives when they're at stake like it's an episode of Jerry Springer, right? Like we ramp about it and then it's over with, right? Like what's more important? We just got to put the value on the people, like so bring back accountability. That's all I got.
I'm game with that. Russ, would you like to put out the fire, sir?
I'll give it a shot.
Go ahead,
I don't know. Like I'm feeling. I don't know if optimistic is the right word. I'm feeling hopeful, really. I don't know about just the world in a sense, even with all the tragedy going on. Like, I feel like I have to feel hopeful about something. Honest to God, it's just going to drag me to the fucking gutter. And I really can't do that to myself or either just anyone else around me. So, like, look forward to, like, if anything, especially in the sports world, look forward to the events that you're happy for, to something to kind of keep you going from day to day in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally am looking forward to, like, the UFC card on Saturday night. It's a big UFC card. Anyone has any question about UFC, you know who to call. I'm your guy. But just, if anything, if it just find something that gets you through the day, honest to God, whatever it is, whatever it may be. Like, not to bring up your personal stuff, but Cody, I just saw you had those absolutely beautiful family pictures. If anything, I guarantee you that you were doing stuff for your family, for Cody, or not for Cody, but yeah, Cody, but for Eli and Ava and Brittany, Lamont. I know you're doing stuff for your wife and your kid, Darrell, James, same thing for you guys. Whatever it is, just God bless everybody. And I hope you find anything to just get you through the day, even if it's just like, I don't know, Boneless Thursdays at B-Dubs. I don't care. Whatever it is that gets you through the day.
Okay. I like that. I like it. James, go ahead and put out the fire, brother.
For my take, I guess I'll kind of piggyback off LT in a sense. The NFL needs to step up and take some accountability and how they're going to handle or respond to this Deshaun Watson situation. I mean, mandatory OTAs for the Browns, I believe, start next week. And you have people around the league, around the world, wondering, like, what is going to happen with Deshaun Watson? Is he going to show up? Are they going to allow him to show up? I feel like at this point, with all the mystery going on around the case at this point in time, with the new cases being filed this week, bringing it up to a total of 24 cases with the alleged 66 women in total he's had contact with, I feel like you just got to put him on the commissioner exempt list for the season. You know, it's paid time off for him again, so that'd be his second year that he'd be sitting out on paid leave. You got to do something. You can't allow this circus to continue if you're the NFL. You got to find a way to get in front of it. And at this point, I feel like the only thing they really have left is that commissioner's exempt list. Place him on the list. You know, maybe then he can actually focus on getting these cases resolved versus, you know, preparing for the upcoming season. So they got to find a way to, you know, get in front of this from an image standpoint, because right now it looks bad for them. So they got to figure out something.
All right. So my put out the fire. I'm not even, you know what? In my case, I don't want the fire to be put out, because I need the Colorado Avalanche to continue to play great hockey. I'm just excited right now because, you know, I've always been a huge hockey fan, and a lot of people don't know that, you know, like, you know, you always find an origin to how you pick a team. And so for me, picking the Avalanche all came from one very important game back in 1994, NHL 94. Now, on that game, Avalanche didn't even exist. There was one team, the Quebec Nordiques, ladies and gentlemen. It's the only team I played with. The only team I played with on that game. So when 1995 and 96 came out, I'm like, bro, where are the Quebec Nordiques? Come to find out they go to Colorado. I've been a fan ever since. I'm glad to see them make their third Stanley Cup. I'm excited. Keep the fire up, fellas. I love the energy that they've had in these games. Sometimes they've given up a little bit too many goals, but hey, they still come out there. It's just been great to have something to cheer about this late. And, you know, all I know is we got another great series going on in the East. So, you know, I'm not trying to jinx anybody, but go Rangers, because I'm trying to look really good.
That's right.
I'm trying to look really good in my predictions, baby. I got one down. Let's get the second one. So, Avalanche, keep the fire going. Rangers, go take care of business. Let's go. Cody, we have a trip to go on. So I need the Rangers to go.
Hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you, if I have to sell a kid, it's happening. All right?
Figure it out.
Bro, there's no way y'all going back up in that area and not taking me, though. I'm telling you that right now.
Look,
hey, come on, roll with us.
We can make some moves.
Oh, no, we don't let Cowboys fans come. Get out of here with that.
Bro, I'll tell you where to eat and everything, bro. You good.
I got you. All right, everybody. That is it for Legacy on Fire, episode 32. Next week, we've got a couple of lockdowns for next week. One, we have Mr. Joe Diller will be making a return to Legacy on Fire next week. Mr. Rob Johnson also coming on next week, and I believe Tyrone Montgomery will also be on. So, and I believe Jay. I think that's our lineup for next week. Obviously, it could change. Things do happen, but as of right now, I cannot wait to bring. Actually, I take it back. Ty won't be on that. It's the following week. Ty's on. So, but we're gonna have a couple of our guys back on here to make the dream work here on Legacy on Fire. But before we get out of here, LT, anything you want to say, brother?
Nah, piggyback off of Russ. You know, everybody just keep moving, man. You know, we get hit with a lot of stuff. We done made it crawl through pandemics and some more stuff. So, you know, just keep it moving, man. Stay positive and get your head down and stick close to those people you love, man.
Awesome. James, anything you want to say before we go?
Just two things. Like Russ and LT said, you know, find your reason, find your why. That gets you through each day. Find something that you love that, you know, when times are rough, times are tough, you can go ahead, latch on to that to get through. And second thing I'll say is score update from game 3. Boston is up 54-36 with about just under 6 minutes left in the second quarter. So, you know, my prediction's still kind of looking good.
Third quarter ain't hit yet. That Golden State third quarter different, bro.
Yeah, it is.
I got to give Kirk credit. He always finds a way to adjust. Cody, anything you want to say before we get out of here, brother?
I mean, just piggyback off of all of y'all, what y'all have said as far as like, you know, just finding your reason, finding your why, but also to take it a step further, man, just pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? Like the smallest of things. If you're at Starbucks, bro, like pay for the person behind you. I mean, maybe it's going to uplift them. Maybe they're already having a horrible morning or something, you know? I mean, just we need more good in the world. So let's just try our best to do that.
Awesome. And I'm going to super piggyback. Same dream, y'all. Just go out there, love each other, take care of each other out there. The world can be crazy at times. And we've seen a lot of crazy things over the last couple of years. I'm not going to go too deep in that, but let's just try to start protecting each other more than, you know, going against each other on that. And one last weird take before I get out of here. Next time there's a brawl between the Astros and the Mariners, that's actually just a large conversation or a large gathering at the plate, please don't call it a brawl. It's just a gathering at the plate, conversating on if I got hit or not. I just had to throw that in there real quick because it bothered me. It bothered me when I saw it. I'm like, don't call it the brawl when they just went out there to conversate. But nevertheless.
Hey, Dio. You forgot Russ, bro.
I think I'm still here.
Russ, oh, no. I'm thinking about Russ. I'm sorry.
Not on the final thought.
Russ, don't beat me, man.
Try,
Russ.
Get him, Russ.
I think I'm still here. I'm a real boy. Don't do that.
That Pinocchio, though.
I mean, I said much. I guess to end the night, just keep going. Happy Pride.
All right. Oh, also, don't forget your friends. Sorry, Russ. I apologize. That was terrible of me.
I will add one thing, too. The Warriors right now are shooting 40% from the field, 30% from 3, and the Celtics are shooting 60% from the field, 50% from 3.
Good night.
Well, turning up.
When you're shooting like that, it's a little bit hard.
Right. Okay, then.
Anytime you can outshoot from 3-point a team that has Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on the court, you have a really good chance to win. Just saying. Efficiency.
In my opinion, it was going to be hard to beat Boston in the night regardless, because you know that Boston Garden is on fire. I can only imagine how that crowd is right now.
It's a lot of Sam Adams that was consumed tonight.
Exactly.
A lot of Sam Adams.
All right, that is it. Legacy on Fire, episode 32 is in the books. I'm your man, Darrell Lawrence. We got LT, we got Russ, we got James, we got Cody. Thank you all for tuning in and appreciate you.
Happy birthday, Becca.
Happy birthday, Becca.
Yes. Happy birthday, Becca.
Happy birthday, Becca.
All right, y'all. Until next time, peace.